Yellowstone Season 5 Episode 1 and 2 Ending Explained. After 4 seasons and almost a year since the 4th season aired, the show has returned with its 5th installment. Following on from John running for governor of Montana with the hopes of putting an end to the Paradise Valley projects, whilst also focusing on Beth's manipulation of Jamie, and Kayce having visions of the end for himself and Monica, the Dutton family and the ranch are facing many uphill battles. And after these first 2 episodes of this season, it doesn't seem as though John's newfound power is going to make things any easier. So with that, I thought I'd recap, break down, and explain all that there was to take away from these first 2 episodes. So let's get into it. Here is Yellowstone Season 5 Episode 1 and 2 Ending Explained. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. Season 5 picked up pretty much where we left Season 4 of the show. It painted out a few different main plots that we're going to see unfold in Season 5 of the show, and it alluded to the ongoing battle between the ranch and Market Equity, and also a civil war within the family, and that's between Jamie and Beth. The future of the ranch is something that's well and truly at the core of John Dutton's decisions, heart and head, and the power that he now holds is something that he didn't truly want. I'm going to break this video down by the main things to take away from the episodes. The rivalry between Jamie and Beth. Within the first 15 minutes of the new season, we saw John being sworn in as governor of Montana, and within this scene we saw on both sides of him were Jamie, his adopted son, and his biological daughter Beth, showing the 2 different sides to John's mind. In a room that was erupting with celebration, prospects, and happiness for the future, the siblings were locked in eye contact and you could see the different things that they both stood for, and the rivalry that's going to be unfolding this season. Jamie was supposed to be governor and truly wanted to be. He wants what's best for the state, the development of it, and the people that are within it. Whereas John, he cares about preserving the state, but most importantly, looking after his land. And as was mentioned, the way that he's acting is most likely going to hold it back not 30, but more like 100 years by not opening the gates and making it easy for visitors to enjoy their time without being taxed. Beth appeases her father and likes to be in his good books, so there's clear division between both siblings. With her forcing Jamie to kill his biological father in Season 4, and her photographing it and having a hold over him like no other, we've seen her use the power that she holds and get enjoyment out of it, making him refer to him as Mom, entering his office, leaving the door open when she left, all small things that speak of a power trip. But it's clear to see that tensions are going to get to a point where they're going to erupt, and it's going to be messy when it does. Jamie isn't afraid to push back on rash decisions and has already been told to jump when John tells him to do something. So we'll see how that goes for him. Kayce and Monica. At the end of Season 4, we saw that Kayce had a vision of the end for himself and Monica being on the horizon. However, in the opening 2 episodes, we saw Kayce state that despite the end being something that was visible, for it to happen, he'd have to decide for it to be the end, and that was something that he said he'd never do. Monica was in a car accident as she was driving to the hospital to give birth to their son, and we saw that it meant that they sadly lost the baby. It seems as though this could be something that brings the both of them together and allows them to be able to navigate a way through the vision that Kayce had to ensure that they stay together. I'm intrigued to see how this will develop as the season goes on, but I'm not holding out for a happy ending. John Dutton as governor. In the opening episode, we saw that John became governor of the state of Montana, and I think it was clear to see that it was something he didn't really want. He did it out of pure necessity to stop the airport being built. He blanked out when taking the oath, he wasn't prepared to participate in the game which is politics, and it seems far from the person that we were first introduced to in the show. He has no interest in making allies and shaking hands. John essentially signed a declaration of war when he revoked the lease against Market Equity for the Paradise Valley projects, which is ultimately going to be something that will come back to bite him from a legal perspective. He needs to play the game in order to beat them, and this is something that he's not willing to do. The ranch is at the core of all of the decisions that he makes, rather than the people of Montana, and I imagine over time this is going to be something that will become apparent to the people. John has one weakness, and that weakness is Jamie. There have been several people already picking up on Jamie's lack of excitement for the decisions that his father's making, and it looks as though they plan on jumping on that and exploiting it as much as they can, using it to their own advantage. With John's horse having to be killed after stepping into a hole when Carter was riding it, it does make me wonder if it's symbolic of the trajectory of John's career in politics as governor, as the extreme decisions and introduction of taxes whilst supporting the individuals in the state right now, it could go on to damage it long term. The ending of the second episode. At the end of the second episode, we saw a couple of main things occur. We saw that there were chemicals that were being sprayed on the ranch and causing the death of cattle, fish, and birds, showing devastation for land, water, and sky, which to me is symbolic of the direction in which this season of the show is going to go in for those trying to hold on to the current state of Montana. Land, water, and sky means no escape. With Dick Wells being attacked, it does make me question if it will grind the project to a halt, but that's something we'll just have to wait and see. We also had the killing of the park wolves with the GPS beacons on. We saw them being destroyed based off of the very idea that they were killing the cattle, when in reality it wasn't them. It was due to the chemicals that were being sprayed. With the beacons having a motion detector within them, we saw them being attached to branches and thrown down the river to keep them moving. However, in the closing moments of the episode, we saw that it had got caught on branches in the river, meaning that in 12 hours of it stopping, it would set off an alert and it would be found out that the wolves were killed, leading to more trouble for Rip and his folk. I thought these first 2 episodes of the new season were really good. It's enjoyable to have a show like this back on our screens as there's nothing like it at all, so it makes for a refreshing change. The external battle and internal battle within the family is something that's present, and will most likely be present throughout the entirety of the season, and I feel it will cause mass devastation and result in casualties, as it always does. I think Jamie is going to play a poignant role in this season of the show, and as we've seen in the past, I imagine his loyalty will come into question as he himself knows that John will most likely be making the wrong decisions, and will be damaging the state in the long run. So that's one arc that I'm already invested in. Kevin Costner absolutely smashes his role as John Dutton and delivers an extremely convincing character that you believe with every word that is uttered. As well as the acting, the scenery is something like no other and makes for spectacular viewing, so I'm always a fan of the shots of the environment embedded within the show. I think this season has the potential to be the liveliest of them all, and I can't wait to see how it's going to unfold as the battle to hold on to and preserve Yellowstone develops against external parties, Rainwater, and the chemicals that look set to cause long-lasting devastation. So, there you have it. Yellowstone Season 5 Episode 1 and 2 Ending Explained. If you want to see more videos such as Endings Explained, Theories and Predictions, and Character Breakdowns, then click on the I button. Or alternatively, you can head over to my channel where you'll find them all. If you'd like to give me a show or movie that you'd like me to review next, then head over to my Twitter, @brainpilot_, and tweet me what show or movie you'd like me to review. And finally, if you'd like to see what I rate the latest movies that don't quite make the cut to getting a dedicated video, then head over to my Letterboxd profile. It's where I rate the latest releases in real time. What did you think of the first 2 episodes? Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.